now that I've announced that we are having a board member exit, hey, we're looking for board members. So are you interested in making a difference in your community? Are you interested in social media? We have a variety of board positions. So Greg has all of our nonprofit spotlights. He is passionate about nonprofits. We have Jeanette, who is awesome. She works with Andy and does a lot of our vendor coordination. I mentioned I do a lot of our social media, and we have a lot of variety. So if you think it might be interesting to work on our board, apply. Why not? And you can apply at SMBMadison, or we do have a link in bio. I wonder who created that. All right, so as I mentioned, connect with us, all of our socials. We have our nonprofit spotlight this month, which is developing artists, murals, and alliances. And they foster youth development through creative art experiences to train local artists to stabilize and sustain community transformation processes. They want to make youth feel safe in their neighborhoods and proud of their communities. They are going to have a Caribbean night fundraiser on Friday, October 4th, which is coming up. So check them out. They have a Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and a website if you are interested. And if you want to attend their event, they do have a QR code there. Otherwise, I'm sure you could find out more information on their website or on their social media handles. Thank you to our sponsors, of course, Green Bank, who allows us to host our free monthly educational events. And then we have all of our additional sponsors as well. And next up is Andy from Green Bank, who will share a few words.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. First and foremost, I apologize to anyone who got that first batch of coffee. I don't know if any of you noticed anything, maybe you didn't arrive with it, but I put 5 cups of coffee in and pressed a small batch. So, and you're like vibrating or can hear colors right now, but you're welcome. Or I'm sorry. But welcome to Dream Bank. So as Amelia mentioned, my name is Andy Frisky. I work here at Dream Bank. Any first timers? All right, we got a few. Awesome. So Dream Bank is put on by American Family Insurance, and everything we do is meant to help inspire dreamers to pursue their dream, in large part by removing barriers for them. So that shapes out, I'd say, 3 large ways, the largest one being the events that we host. So we offer anywhere between 6 to 15 free events a month that are all organized through the lens of personal and professional development. And I wanted to highlight 2 events in particular that are upcoming here. I set up some postcards on your seat. But as we all are aware, it's September, which is also Hispanic Heritage Month, so we have a wonderful event coming up on October 10th with Olympian Lori Hernandez. And then we also have a wonderful event in partnership with Happy Ireland presentation skills. So this is just a small sampling of some of our offerings. In addition to the events that we host, we also function as a drop-in co-working space. I know many of you take advantage of that after the social media breakfast sessions in the morning, but right around the corner there, you'll see some red chairs. They're available for you all to post up and have a physical location to work on your dreams. Our hours of operation are Tuesday to Thursday, 9 to 5, so you're always welcome and able to pop in anytime during our operating hours, have a quiet place to work, grab some coffee that should be normal strength next time. And then lastly, at the very back of the space, we have a very robust and interactive exhibit. It's all rooted in positive psychology, meant to embody some of the beliefs and values of the organization. And the theme of this one is building your dreams. So it's an oldie but a goodie. A lot of really cool design thinking concepts and principles incorporated in that are all geared towards dream pursuit. So lastly, if any of you folks are interested in booking out this space for your own team meetings or networking events, things of that nature, we offer that up to the community free of charge as well. So I know a handful of you have taken advantage of that and sent me some emails. I'd love to see that. So if you are interested in inquiring about booking this space, please go ahead and find myself and my coworker Jenna after the session today.
Thank you. I thought the coffee was normal strength, but maybe I'm just
Split group, right?
Yeah. All right, we will be giving away another YOLA's gift card. I am allowing our lovely speakers today to give that away, so you'll have to stay tuned in how they select our winner. Dun, dun, dun. All right, help us write this month's recap. So last month, if you were here, we did a Padlet, and we had several of you help us write the monthly recap. So as you're taking notes today, feel free to share some highlights with us, and you will be entered to win a Fuel gift card, and one of you will be selected, so we're going to win two. One for the monthly recap, and then one of our lovely speakers will be selected a winner. I'll give it a second. You can scan that QR code. Did you get it? Perfect. And now we have our speakers. Can we take a moment for Chantel's hair? Because, like, girl, I wish my hair was looking like that. Seriously. Okay. So our speakers today, Chantel, Melanie, and Dawn are going to share with you how to level up your LinkedIn, get all the connections. And with that, let's welcome them with a big, warm round of applause. These will just be here. So isn't the online audience? And then that one is.
Can everyone hear me okay?
Is it green?
Yep.
Yes, and also grab one of the.
Oh, you do have to grab it.
Those are for the screen.
All right, can you hear me okay? All right, well, we are so glad to be here. Thank you so much for having us and for the opportunity to partner with Social Media Breakfast. Dawn, myself, Chantel, this is what we love to do out of the kindness of our heart. Here at LinkedIn Local Madison, we are a volunteer-led organization that I was trying to think about this when I was standing there, was established about 5 years ago or so, 5-6 years ago, I'm not sure. But one day I actually reached out to Chantel on LinkedIn, not even knowing her, and saying, hey, I see what you're doing here on the platform. Have you ever thought about getting together and connecting with people in the Madison area? And she basically had said, let's do it. And we co-founded LinkedIn Local Madison and have had such a great time even bringing Dawn on and sharing the message for the platform and how you can really amplify by building your personal brand, connecting with your network, and taking things offline as well. I wanted to share, out of 900 million people on LinkedIn, only 310 million people are active. And what that means is that you actually log in at least one time a month. So that number, if you think about it, is pretty shocking. LinkedIn Local Madison, we are a refreshing take on professional networking. We like to say we want to allow people to meet other people behind the profile. As I mentioned, we are volunteer-led. We're locally organized. We certainly offer, I would say, anywhere between 9 to 12 events a year to really get people together here in our community, both online and offline. And so we'll share at the end of our slides some opportunities where you can connect with our community, as well as work on figuring out how to add to your LinkedIn, spice it up, and then also connect with people on the platform. So our session goal today, you may have seen this, is we want to explore LinkedIn from top to bottom. We want to share with you some of the latest trends, offer you some tips and tools, ways that you can optimize your profile. And whether you're a LinkedIn veteran also, or you're just wanting to spruce up your profile, maybe look at some of your headlines, maybe some of the phrasing that you have out there, or you're a newbie, you'll certainly walk away with some tips today. The goal is to transform your profile and nail personal branding, level up the trendiest features and updates, and then also boost your professional presence. So again, the three of us that currently are the LinkedIn Local co-hosts, we have Chantel with the awesome hair, and it's always awesome. And then we also have Dawn, who is our unique connector. And we'll let Chantel take it away.
All right. Thank you. Clicker. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Okay, by a show of hands, how many of you log in every day to LinkedIn? Wow. All right. How about once a week at most? Okay. All right. Cool. How about once a month? All right. Yes. Thank you for your honesty. How about only when you're looking for a job? Okay, good. Fair enough. So we're on there often, right? So the topic that I'm going to chat about is the opportunities that come along when you have a powerful personal brand. So personal branding, we've all heard the term. If you haven't, welcome. Welcome to the world. Personal branding's been a term that probably started about under a decade ago that started to become a really big thing with digital marketing, social media. It became a really important process to build a cohesive presence across all of your digital platforms. So that includes your LinkedIn, maybe your resume, your Instagram if it's public, make sure things kind of string along with everything else. But just helping a few folks with their social media and their personal brand on LinkedIn, it opens the floodgates to opportunity. When you share your story and you stand out as an expert in your field, opportunities really do flow in when you are there for the right purposes and you have authenticity through all of your content. So, how to sell yourself, right? We are all familiar with your profile. There's this heading. We're going to go over a couple of these things. Your heading here, your banner header, your profile picture, your about, right? Like this is actually not your about. This is called the intro now, headline, text headline, and banner headline, and your hashtag. So this is everything that you talk about. This is what people should expect to see when they're on your profile. And then you can have a call to action here. So I have book an appointment that links to my meeting link. You can also have your website there if you want to drive traffic to your website, if people want to learn more. Any other kind of site or reference, testimonials. Definitely use that space. It's super underutilized. So these are just the basics of getting started. And I want to take you through a couple of really good examples because I learned by seeing. So I'll get there in a second here. So what makes a strong introduction? When somebody goes straight to your profile, how are people going to react and feel your presence? First, a smile in your headshot. It can be a slight smile. It doesn't have to be a huge smile. It can be a laugh, but a smile makes it warm and approachable. So people instantly think, okay, this is a safe person to connect with. Banner. In your banner, you need to put what your purpose is there. So if your purpose is to be on stages and speak, put a picture of you speaking with a microphone in your hand. If your purpose is to sell a book, put your book on there, your hardcover on there. Have a call to action. It can be a visual call to action. So what that means is, what do you want people to do when they see your profile? So if it's buy a book, put your book up there. If it's book you for a speaking opportunity, put yourself on stage. Your headline is more than just your title, okay? We've seen all the people that have, marketing executive up there. Mine says brand sorceress because it makes people giggle and they also kind of think I'm quirky, which is the right thing. So it's right on brand for me. But share more. Like, we don't want to know what you do. We want to know who you are, right? So it can be all of your top things, what it is that makes you wake up in the morning and drives you. Creator mode has died. So this was something that everybody had to sign up for. They had to toggle on their creator mode, but now it's more of a generalized approach. So rest in peace to that. A lot of people ask me about that all the time. Your website, we talked about that. And make sure, if you can take away one thing today, make your profile public. Because if your profile isn't set to public, people aren't going to find you. You're going to look like a ghost on there. And get verified. Melanie will talk more about this. So these are a couple of great examples that I have. Heather Monahan is a best-selling author and she's a speaker. So she makes most of her living doing coaching sessions and workshops and on stage. She's a great MC. So that's why we have her banner image. She's on stage with a well-known person. And then she's got her all of her awards. Like, what would you brag about? What's in your brag bag? That's her headline there, because that's where you really stand out from the competition. Then she also has a call to action here, create confidence with me. So that goes to her landing page to collect leads. It's a great opportunity. And then see how they're both smiling? Even Gary's like the most like bold, forceful person, potty mouth, but he's even smiling and leaning in and being a very approachable person. This is Luke Matthews. Anybody, are you guys familiar with Luke Matthews? Anybody? Oh, you're missing out. He's a riot. He's super funny and he's always sharing content about how to make your LinkedIn better. So if you are looking for tips and tricks, if you're here today, follow him. I didn't get paid to say this, but tell him I sent you. Maybe he'll like me better. I don't know. He's great. But what we have here is his smile, right? His call to action, learn how to build business and online presence with LinkedIn. So we know exactly why he's here. And that's what we want your profile to be as well. So what makes a powerful personal brand? And I'm going to fly through this. I'm sorry. I'll go through this really quick. So authenticity. Authenticity is kind of like it's an overused word now. However, there's a reason for that. With AI, right? With bots. There's so many bots on LinkedIn with people just using ChatGPT to create their content. It's noise. So we don't want noise. People can read that and see it a mile away. So be yourself, share your own stories, and I'll have a couple more examples of that to come. Clarity, be clear with your message. What are you trying to portray? If you're not trying to get a new job or make more business on LinkedIn, maybe you're just trying to establish yourself as a thought influencer. So share cutting edge stories or interviews you've had with mentors or what it took for you to get to where you are today. Consistency is probably the secret sauce in everything through and through. So you need to show up. I think it's 2 or 3 times a week. You're okay. So they did this study on how you can go viral on LinkedIn. And it wasn't the quality of your content. Unfortunately, it was actually how consistent you were. Showing up for your community as well is another thing. You can read through the rest of these, but create a memorable look is really fun because you can have your like color palette. You are a brand, okay? You can dress like your business cards, dress like your colors. Yes, Bill. He did this the other time. Made a really great first impression. I noticed his business card was matching the color of his shirt, and I was like, hey, I never forgot it. Ran into him again today. It was great. So, and just show up for your community first versus yourself. When you give without expecting anything in return, that's when the magic really happens. All right, so here's an example of one of my posts that went viral. This was about me living with disability. So many people might not know by looking at me that I have vision impairment and mobility issues. I have multiple sclerosis, as well as epilepsy and a few other things. So when I opened up my story about how impossible it is to find a job when you have to check that little box that says you're disabled, people actually really latched onto that. And they said, wow, there's nothing like this out there. This is crazy. I obviously tied in my obsession with marketing and that I'm a go-getter and wanted to keep going and wouldn't let the disease hold me down. So it really took up and pierced through the feed. Now, there's a difference between vulnerability and oversharing. I want to make that very clear because some people overshare, which means there's no lesson to be told. There's nothing to be gained of it other than their exposure. All right. So this is another great example. Stephanie Shanks, she works with Social Media Breakfast here as their photographer. I hope she's tuning in. But she shared how she got to where she is today. It was so moving. I had never known any of this about Stephanie before. And it made this connection happen where I was like, oh, we have so much in common. This is so cool. So I wanted to reach out and, use her for photography. There's a lot of ways to do it to build influence and your personal brand on LinkedIn. And it doesn't have to be creating your own content. I want to make that clear as well. You don't need to show up and you don't need to share everything every day. Lila Smith here, she has a heart of gold. She actually has built most of her following. She's got over 44,000 followers just by supporting people on the platform. Literally, she just shows up and she supports people in the comments. She says this is a great post and adds her dialogue to it and really makes you think further. So you don't need to be a content creator to grow influence with your personal brand. And that's it. Melanie, you want to take over? Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Chantel. And I can tell you from my experience also too on LinkedIn that it is an evolving process. I think even us who certainly talk about our experience and what we learn and share with the community, we are always ever changing. Actually, I spent some time even on my headline last night. And when I looked back through kind of some of my Canva templates, I'm like, wow, it's had like 30 renditions. But as you grow and as you change and as your brand changes, that will all change too. So I definitely invite you to maybe stalk LinkedIn and just start looking at people's profiles and seeing what they're sharing. Because a lot has changed too over the last, I would say 5 to 10 years. And a lot of great new tips, especially when it comes to branding yourself through your main page and your headline. So let's talk about some of the trendiest tips and the features. Scheduling posts, if any of you had seen my post yesterday, I'm really excited about this feature. Has anybody scheduled posts yet? All right, so we have a couple. Awesome. What do you think about it?
I love it. Because it allows you to say, okay, I know on this day most people are going to be on at this time. I could be doing it at 2 a.m. on a Sunday and schedule it for 9 on Tuesday. So that's great.
Fantastic. Yeah, so it gives you the ability to be able to schedule your posts ahead of time. This is a brand new feature, actually, where you had the ability to make edits, modify, change the dates, and even schedule or publish now. So this was something that I really was frustrated with when it came to LinkedIn when scheduling posts first came out. I used to be the type of person that would capture all my thoughts, save it, and schedule it. But then I'd realize over time that I'd still like to make some changes. Maybe I had an aha moment before I wanted to post it. And you had no ability whatsoever to do that. So this is super exciting. You could certainly capture notes, you could create a post and you can schedule it, but now you have the ability to say, hey, maybe I wanted to post something else today. If I had something scheduled for today, but I thought this event would be more of a priority, I might say, hey, let me take that post and I'm going to maybe schedule that, tomorrow or later next week. So it's a great feature. You'll see you have the ability to post now. So I tested this yesterday once I tried it out. Prior to that, you would basically have to post and completely delete and then redo. So definitely take advantage of this opportunity. Verified. How many of you are verified? All right. So some of you. So this is a great way to be able to build trust and credibility with your audience and your network. I had posted a carousel on getting verified. There are some learning opportunities when it comes to LinkedIn. One of the things that I found is that I had a name change. So between my name on LinkedIn and my driver's license, I really struggled to get verified. So if any of you try to get verified and you struggle, I have a carousel that I can share with you on how to actually get this to go through. But the pros to this is it reduces impersonation risks. You actually have to get verified by putting through your passport or a driver's license. So it does verify your identity. It allows you to become more visible. As you can see here, it is highlighted in yellow. You'll get this little check mark that's gray that populates. It does give you the ability to connect with, grow your connections quicker, and you can remove this at any time. I did find a little bit of a hack. Lee is my middle name. And so what I did, for those of you who might be using middle names as well, is I went through the whole process, had my formal last name listed, got verified, and did find out that I can still make changes without losing the verified symbol. So a little bit of a hack and a workaround. Some of the cons, some people do have ID concerns with sharing IDs. There is great information. If you go through Get Verified, I'm trying to think, is it Get Verified or ID Me? ID Me, I believe it was, that I had to go through. There is great information on how it is confidential, protects your privacy. The other con is that verification failure that I had to go through, and you might potentially need to re-verify, but overall, even with the name changes, it certainly stayed there. Now, top voice badge. Any of you have a top voice badge? What's your top voice badge?
Leadership.
Okay, leadership. And how long have you had the badge?
Probably 3 or 4 cycles.
Okay, and you've gone through re-verification? Okay. So yes, so you have the ability to get a top voice badge. I just Google LinkedIn top voice and articles, and that brings you up to their main page. Otherwise, you can go to linkedin.com/advice, and you have the ability to contribute to articles by sharing your expertise. In order to actually earn this top voice badge, I think some of you might be able to see this, it might be hidden. You have to score in the top 30%. You have to be active for 60 days, and it does get reevaluated. I've certainly had a top voice badge, and I've lost it, and I've been contributing to different types of articles as I'm doing different things within my personal branding. And so, as you mentioned, yes, you do have to certainly re-verify and continue to collaborate in those articles after 60 days to keep that. Now, I did come across a profile yesterday that actually you can have multiple top voice badges. So if you have other areas of interest, whether it's public speaking, motivation, could be sales, you can certainly have multiple of those. Now, personal touch voice message. Now, this is actually my favorite feature. If any of you use personal voice. Awesome. I see a lot of heads nodding. What do you think of it?
I received one from you, and I was like, wait, how'd you do that?
Yes. Yeah, so with personal touch voice message, this is definitely an opportunity for you to, personalize your message. I like putting a voice behind a picture, especially if you are only connecting online and you haven't met yet in person. It does cap you out at 60 seconds. So if you talk fast, you can get one message through, but I've certainly connected with people and we've had 5 going back and forth. You can certainly get a lot of information in within that time frame. I also do it on text message. Dawn dealt with me with that yesterday. This is available to first degree connections only. And this is mobile app only as well, just so you're aware. Audio events, so you can connect with your audience. This is a newer feature, I would say, in the last 6 to 12 months. I actually attended an audio event yesterday, which was phenomenal, and it was talking about personal branding as well. Typically, if you're connected to somebody who is offering an audio event, you'll get a notification that will pop up and say, hey, they're live right now, tune in. What was really cool about this is I love that there's no pressure of having to be on video. And so this is exactly what it looks like. You'll have the host at the top of the screen, and it's a great feature. I did it from my phone and was able to actually connect through my computer as well and still listen, but also, do other things during that audio event. So you can host conversations anywhere. It's a great way for community engagement. There were several people from other countries on this audio event yesterday. And in the last 20 minutes, they allowed for Q&A. So it was really awesome to be able to even just, what it does is it'll pop up the person who's going to talk, and you can click right on their profile. So you can click on that, you can learn more about them, you can connect, you can send a message right away. Might have been something that you would have resonated with during that audio event. You could say, hey, I saw that you asked this question. I'd love to connect with you and learn more about X, Y, and Z. So it's a really easy way to do that. Awesome to foster community engagement, as mentioned, as you can connect with people all over the world. And then you can also demonstrate your expertise. So if you have a business that you want to certainly share more of your message and what it is that you do, this could be a great way to connect and collaborate with other people as well.
Are those live only, or are they available for replay?
That's a good question. I've only attended live only.
They are not available for.
Okay, yeah, so I've only done live only. All right.
Just like that Clubhouse. Remember Clubhouse? Yeah.
Yes.
Short-lived.
And then LinkedIn offers a newsletter opportunity where you can certainly grow your audience. You can grow your brand. Even if you are not an entrepreneur, you can certainly create a personal brand and create a newsletter. Dawn is fantastic at this. She's got a great number of subscribers as well. And we also have a newsletter. It's called the Network Navigator. So if you find our page on LinkedIn Local Madison, you'll be able to see our newest newsletter. We only have 2 articles out, but we're excited to continue with this. So some tips for you. This is just a great way to build influence. One of the things I was researching when it came to the newsletter, for those of you that work, that aren't entrepreneurs, we work as a professional for another company. I needed to know, if I were to create a newsletter, is this going to go to everybody in my network, or do I select, select people? To me, it looks like it goes to everybody in your network. So that could be a good thing. But if there are some limitations when it comes to what you do, you might want to consider that. It allows you to showcase your expertise, certainly build relationships. When I was looking the other day, I think I'm just subscribed to like 30 newsletters. So I'm always getting new information. But as Chantel was mentioning, it's just a great way to get to know people further than what they share through their posts. You can certainly expand your reach, certainly increase engagement. I connected with somebody last week who also just published a newsletter. In day one, she had 400 subscribers. And so it's just such a great way to be able to expand that. Also attracts opportunities. This could be speaking opportunities. It could be collaborations. It could be some of those audio events as well. Increasing visibility. And then your subscribers do get notified every time you were to publish a newsletter as well. Anybody here have a newsletter? All right, so we have a couple, so there might be a good opportunity to connect and share as well, and we'll pass it to Dawn.
Do you have enough hands? Too many things. Okay. A lot of information, right? One thing I got to just say is give yourself grace, because that's the thing. This is always a program that's changing and always evolving. But know that you can always try new things and have fun with it. It's a free tool, so use it. So I'm going to talk about how you can really reach to new heights with it differently. So often I hear this question to me all the time. How do I grow my network? Where should I be networking? I should be here, there, everywhere. How do I get more business? This isn't part of my job. I can't network. So how is this going to work? Sorry, am I too close? Okay. And so I hear this often, and I know it can be overwhelming. I'm one who used to be at every networking event out there back in the day. Part of my job was to do that. And so it can be a lot. It can be draining, and you can pretty much kill yourself. So we're going to try and give you all these different tips so you can think smarter and network smarter. So yeah, I know a lot of you are trying to grow that Rolodex, right, of different people. So not sure if any of you ever used this before. Have any of you used the app? Okay. So LinkedIn has this cool thing. So if you guys don't have the LinkedIn app yet, I would suggest you to download it. But the reason of not to just download it, just to hurry up and it's a new way to get a business card, it's to connect with people and to follow up with them after the event. So what you do is you bring up the app, you click the search button, and then you click this little box right there. And what it's going to do is going to bring up your own personalized QR code. So you can easily scan. If you're having a great conversation with somebody and you're going to want to follow up with them, do this. The other part too is you can click scan, and then you can easily scan the QR code of that other person's QR code. So try using that next time, but use it wisely. Don't just use it as a way to just add more people onto your profile. All right. So networking, it's kind of one thing that I've learned to grow and evolve with. So I used to be the girl that wouldn't even order her own food growing up, to becoming this networking person. So I want to give you guys some different tips today. So this one is an example. How many people get some weird spammy messages or have you even looked at my profile? What are you trying to get? What are you trying to sell me? So this is one. I notice women excel in the workforce, but often juggle life and finances. I'm sorry, but what is this message? So think about what messages you might be sending to people. Personalize those connection requests. I mean, don't be spammy. Think oh my gosh, I loved your tagline, or, oh, I loved your hair in the profile. That's a great way to show that you're connecting and wanting to learn more about that person. And two, not to be weird, but how many people are nervous to put themselves out there? Right? You probably question, oh, should I hit post or not? That takes a lot of guts for some people. So if you notice they're being really vulnerable today or authentic, reach out to them, connect with them. Show genuine interest. Also look to see, do they have mutual connections to you? Oh my gosh, have we crossed paths before? COVID kind of made me even forget some of the people I've crossed paths. Because there's a lot of familiar faces today. And I'm I wonder what event we met each other in the past at. So, look at those different things of common interests, but also mutual connections. And then lead with value. It's about giving, not instantly selling something. And why someone should really connect with you. Because I don't know about you guys, but I get a lot of random people trying to connect with me, and a lot of them are not personalized. There are some things with free profiles now. It changes often because some months I don't have it, where you can only send 5 personal messages to new connections. But sometimes it changes. So month to month, but try and lead with value with people. All right, so connecting, how to engage, how to build meaningful connections through comments. Earlier, we kind of mentioned that a couple of times. It's not just about posting, it's about engaging with people. So if you see something that's really cool, engage and comment about it. Because like I said earlier, it might have took a lot of guts to put that post out there. So engage, ask insightful questions back. You can even ask questions in the comments. That's a great way to engage back and forth. So that's the one thing for people. Don't just instantly think, I hit post and I'm good. No, you got to engage with people. Share relevant experiences, add the value. So maybe there's some common interests or common things in the journey that you guys could be engaging back and forth about. Build rapport by being an active person in the conversation. Sometimes too, it's just shining a light on somebody and saying like, I'm proud of you for posting this, or look at your journey. You know, those comments like that can go a long way. And also can have other people understand what kind of person you are and show your personality through just even comments. And automate with caution. Don't just do the normal like, oh, same message on each one. Because I don't know if a lot of you see this, but if somebody in my network keeps commenting on a post, it will notify me to like make me realize, hey, you missed this post. Go look at it. A lot of people are engaging. So remember that too, that to try not to use the same words all the time. So according to LinkedIn, posts that receive comments are seen 4 times. So if you really want to try and get visible, try and get some engagement, try and also comment. It's a great way to amplify your visibility in front of people. So I'm one that was in corporate where I had a ton of red tape in what I did. I was in wealth management and I was creative on LinkedIn. And somehow I remember getting a notification, which I should have taken a screenshot years ago, but I was top 1% for engagement on LinkedIn back in the day. And it was just for me commenting, sharing, and thinking outside the box because I had a lot of red tape. So think, how can you be top of mind with people in your network? So embrace the abundance mindset. So as you know, social media breakfast, it's about social media. We have LinkedIn local events. And so I said to the girls, why do we not reach out to them? They're doing something similar but different. Like, let's have the abundance mindset and work with each other. And look at, here we are today, sharing content. We're going to be sharing their stuff too. And so think outside the box, even when it comes to LinkedIn. When I was in corporate, it was do not connect with our competitors. We do not want them to see who you are connected with. Do not let them see any of your things. And think differently here, because I think that's the part for me is in my journey, even connecting with competitors was a great way for me to learn more about, oh, they're going through the same things that I'm going through as a person, but also to same things going on in the market, but also is a great way to realize like, oh, this is the ideal client for you. Well, this is my ideal client. And it was a great way because you could be referral partners. So use that also too with LinkedIn. Think outside the box because quit thinking of competitors, think of the abundance mindset. There's more than enough business out there. Collaborate with your connections. You know, that's going to drive innovation and growth. This is why I wanted to use this as a perfect example. Work together. Don't work against each other. Now we're going to hopefully collaborate on a few other little things in the future. Share your knowledge, your resources to really grow and lift up other people. I'm guessing we're getting close to time. Okay, I'm trying to whiz through it. So really today, you know, we gave you guys a lot of information, but just take some action, try some things. I know some of you, I put this in there because some of you do have red tape, but don't let it hold you back. That was the one thing for me that I thought creatively in my role. And that's how I got really active on it. And that's where too, there's always new things. I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, I could probably use that or update this in my profile. Give yourself grace. Try new things. It's all about baby steps. And also know too, your journey It doesn't have to look like everybody else's. So one last tidbit that I wanted to leave you guys with for LinkedIn. Learn. Today you're here learning more about LinkedIn, right? Continuously learn about LinkedIn and try new things. Inspire. You have no idea who you might be inspiring by doing a post or commenting and supporting other people. And it's a great tool to really network. You don't have to go to every event. Please trust me. No, you do not have to go to every event like I used to do. Okay, lead with kindness. Show you care about other people. That can go a really long way. E, engage with everybody. D, it can develop new relationships that maybe you had no idea you could even meet somebody. That's a great way to say, like, what would we say? What was it? 910 million people, but only 310 million people use it? That's a lot of people. So engage. You have no idea who you could meet. And then innovate. If you could start something new, you might inspire somebody else to do something new too. And then nurture. That's what it's all about, is nurture those relationships. Keep growing and building and adding more people, but nurture them and build relationships with them. So we kind of gave you a lot of things, but here's just a quick overview of review your profile, build your personal brand, no matter where you work. It's about building your own personal brand because it's you, the person that's going to go to whatever job you go to. Get verified if you want, if you feel comfortable with it. Get active with articles, do a newsletter, because newsletter is very powerful, I have to say. Use your voice, post and share, connect, add value, comment. So we gave you a lot of tidbits today, but give it a try. See what could come of it. So we do have different events we try and host often. So every other month, we're already planning for 2025, but feel free to follow us on Facebook, Meetup. We have a LinkedIn page, and now we do have a website, thanks to Melanie. So feel free to engage with us and support, and that's what it's all about, is supporting each other. So thank you for having us today.
Thank you. That was a wonderful presentation. I learned so much. We are open to questions. Yes. So I will grab both mics. All right. I see a question back there. I will get to you. Might take me a minute.
Hello. Can you hear me? So I know that articles are very, very popular with LinkedIn, and I've always been curious, are you supposed to repurpose your blog as an article and then forfeit that site traffic, or give a tidbit, or how would you cross-pollinate your blog on article and on newsletter with LinkedIn?
Okay. Am I speaking into the right thing? Yes. I love articles because they're so good for SEO. LinkedIn's SEO placement and score is way above most websites. So I would prioritize LinkedIn's focus there, but I would never do the same duplicate content for obvious reasons. So maybe do a roundup, instead of the exact same article, you could like combine 3 and just make them shorter or more brief or something like that. Your roundup from the week. I don't know how often you blog. I know it's a time consuming task, but does that help at all?
Could you give your feedback on positive or negative connotations used with the badge open to work from a standpoint of entrepreneurship or if you're looking for work?
I was going to say, the open to work, you got to be ready for that. Sorry, am I supposed to have this on? Sorry. Okay. If it says open to work, you're going to get flooded with some different people. I know there are the behind the scenes too, that you can say that you're open to work for the recruiters' purposes. So, there's pros and cons. If you want some people in your community to see that you're open to it, that sometimes hinders the current job that you're at. So think creatively, where if you don't want people in your network to know that you're open to work, then I would use the behind the scenes way. But if you're really open to work and your company knows that you're going to switch jobs, then use that open to work badge on it. It's about the visibility and who you're connected with. Sometimes you got to think about that depending on what you're sharing, because I know some people do have, the side hustles, also too looking for new jobs, and you feel free to add on to that if you have anything.
There is a lot of I see what you're saying about the negative connotations with it, because there are people, especially some even recruiters, they kind of steer away from that badge. So there's no right or wrong answer. I'm sorry, I got nothing.
I would just add on to that some people choose not to necessarily put the circle on their actual profile, but they might actually put it in their headline, or they might actually put it in their about section. Some people too leverage the subscription in a different way of seeing if there's a way to get connected through recruitment and so forth that way. Some people also have just like blindly messaged recruiters and said, who could you connect me with? This is the field that I'm looking to be employed in. This is my, passion area, without boldly placing it on your profile. Again, with what Dawn is saying, it's, I've seen feedback both ways with people in my network. And I think there was an article that was shared on LinkedIn at some point where, although it's a feature, it was recommended to not necessarily put it on there unless you were ready for X, Y, and Z.
That was great. Thank you for your answers. We have a few online questions. The first one being, how do you verify your LinkedIn profile without having to put your middle name?
You can certainly do that. Some people just so typically what Verify is looking for is how it's listed on your driver's license. So I actually put my middle name after I was verified, just because I brand myself as Melanie Lee. But typically it would be your name, if there's a middle initial, and last name.
They don't want to show it on LinkedIn. They want to do like you did and use your name. So if they verify with the middle name, you said they can change it after.
They can change it after they've verified their official identification.
That's great to know. And then Jackie has asked, can you speak to the pros and cons of doing a newsletter through LinkedIn versus a CRM email list? Can you see who is actually looking at it to get their emails, or is it more about increasing your LinkedIn connections?
Yeah, so there's some pros and cons, of course, with newsletters on LinkedIn. So, of course, the pros are it emails the newsletter for you. You don't have to have it all prepared and, like send an email. It does it for you. So when you hit post, so here, let me even give some background. So when you do a LinkedIn article, when you want to post it, you actually have to do an actual post to share the newsletter. But when you do that, it is emailing the newsletter out to all the people that are subscribed to your newsletter. So even to go back further, how do you get people to subscribe to your newsletter? So when you create a newsletter, LinkedIn is smart enough and it will send it out to all the people that you're connected with already. So they're doing the legwork for you. So example, I started this in December of last year. I've only done maybe 11 articles and I already have 900 subscribers. So that's cool because it emails it out for me, but I do not have everybody's email. So I can't just run a quick report of everybody's email because LinkedIn has changed over the years. In the past, you used to be able to run a report. You get everybody's email. You'd get to know all their details, but now you can't do that. So that's the one thing of if all of a sudden LinkedIn did go bye-bye, those 900 subscribers, I don't have technically in my CRM. There are other programs that you can use to try and get all that information, but it sometimes takes some lag work of like link match. You can go in, but you have to go into each profile, download their contact, and get it into your CRM.
Can I add on to that? Yes. Okay, one thing that I would add on to that is email marketing it's a love-hate relationship, right? Because the spam filters seem to gobble up your emails before the reader can actually open it and read it. So LinkedIn's their tool, because the score is so safe, especially with their verified now, it can have a much greater chance of a reader actually receiving it and opening it. I know, I don't get yours as often anymore.
Yeah, because it goes into spam, but not my LinkedIn ones. My LinkedIn ones will go right to the top. And that too depends on how you do your newsletter and the SEO in it too, because you can actually go in and add SEO description and whatnot too. So pros and cons to everything.
All right, then we have one more online question. Would you consider paying for LinkedIn promotions if you're a nonprofit organization?
Okay, so promotions, how? Like, what are we talking about? Like ads, promoted content?
I'm gonna, this is from
Thank
Central
you.
Lynn County, but I am a nonprofit professional, and I have paid for LinkedIn. We generally use it for events, like
Yes.
galas and things like that. I can't speak to whether or not it was terribly effective or not. So if you have any input on that, but I think generally it would be to promote events and galas or campaigns. So that would be kind of the reason
For
why.
sure, absolutely. So I think the best thing to do is at those galas or events, you can interview people. I was actually hoping to do that if we had time, but interview people. People want to hear from your people. People want to hear from their peers. They don't want to hear from a company. So share it from the voice of your people or your donors, or just share the experience. That's the most powerful form of content. And you can tag, you can tag the people, you can tag other companies, other donors if they're open to it and they don't want to stay anonymous. There's a lot of opportunities there to expand your reach further.
I've got a question too. I saw on an early slide you had listed hashtags. When, where? Are they useful?
I would say yes, they've been useful. I mean, I've certainly changed my hashtags over the years. It depends on what you're wanting to brand. So a hashtag example could be sales, right? It could be coaching. Could be personal
Leadership.
branding. It could be marketing, leadership. Yes. So I have typically chosen hashtags based off of my personal brand and experience. So they are always available to, they're ever changing. So you can always go in and update those. And I believe it's been a while since I've gone into that back end feature of LinkedIn, but I think it's 5 hashtags.
I have a follow-up question to that. Should we be adding our hashtags within the text of our post? Do you think that's the best, or adding it to the bottom? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you have to, there's actually a specific section that shares what you talk about. So that's your hashtags. You can also see, if you search for the exact hashtag using hashtag leadership in the search bar, it'll show up and you can see how many followers that hashtag has. So you can actually pull a list of the top followed for maximum exposure as well, as long as your profile is public. Make sure it's public.
But is there a difference? So say I'm writing a caption for Social Media Breakfast Madison for an event, and I'm writing the text out within like come to our, should I say hashtag event, or should I put the hashtag down below? Does that matter?
Okay. Yep. So 2 separate things. So we're thinking headline hashtags, but you're mentioning hashtags when it comes to a social media post.
Yes.
So what was the question on that? Because I mean, a lot of people do it. It's a great feature.
So
I would
if
say
I'm having a post and I'm writing come to our hashtag event, is there a difference between putting the hashtag when I'm writing the text, in this portion of the text, or if I put the hashtag below that text and put hashtag event?
I've not seen any difference personally. I've done it both ways.
Okay.
And I've certainly, depending on what it is, the hashtag, what it applies to, if it makes sense to put it in that paragraph. Otherwise, I typically put them all at the end.
And I was going to say one thing, and I haven't done research on it a while, but a while back, I did some research and it was saying you should only do 3 hashtags in a post. If you do more than that, sometimes then you won't get as much in the algorithm because you're trying to use all the hashtags. So that was one thing with LinkedIn is different than Instagram, but I don't know for sure if it's changed at all. But I just know in the past it was 3 hashtags for a post.
I would just add quickly too that you can create your hashtag. So part of my personal brand is hustle happiness. And so I've been just hashtagging that. And interestingly enough, I had seen somebody use that about a year ago and connected, and it was oh, I've just seen that you've posted that. And your brand is important to me too. And I thought that was really neat. So I feel like businesses and individuals can certainly use that. Of course, there's more standard hashtags. So when it comes to marketing or any expertise that you're sharing, that you might want to reach that broader scale. But it might be fun to create one too.
What are your top level thoughts on things like Sales Navigator, Knowledge Net, expand DIO, et cetera, et cetera.
I love it. So there's many different kinds of Sales Navigator. Like there's different formats of what you can pay for on LinkedIn. Sales Navigator opens up a lot more custom messages. You can see who's viewed your profile. So there, just the data alone that it provides you, I think is worth it if you're in a direct sales role. So if you're going to actually utilize that data. And when you have a Sales Navigator account, I would create monthly goals so you can measure the success of it and make sure that there's a return so you can justify that purchase.
This is going to be our last question, so take it away.
So Chantel, in the beginning, you talked about like sales, the revenue from LinkedIn, and I feel like in general, there's also this element of LinkedIn, like I don't want to be sold to, and so like how do you balance? Actually, I am a business and I do need to sell, but I know people don't want to come on here and just be sold to all the time.
I feel like everyone's going to have something to share here. So the reality is we're all consumers, right? And we're always going to make a purchasing decision, whether that's a cosmetic, some soap, or a service, a cleaning service. So if you show up and you're sharing just your story or your daily life, it's a great reminder. It's brand awareness, right? Whereas if you're not talking about business and what you do, it's going to sink through. So I think the thing that most people miss is that you need to have a goal for your activity on there. You can go on there and your goal can just be to have fun. But if it is to generate more opportunities, which I think that's why we're here today, have the goals, set your tone, and keep your reminder of, okay, we're going to collect 5 new leads this month and we're going to have calls or discovery calls or whatnot. And that way you can really make sure that you're putting out the content that resonates without saying, hey, buy my class, hey, buy my book, keep it authentic.
Yeah, I would add if you could also follow Holly Crawshaw. I've learned a lot of different writing tips from her, but specifically to this question, rather than, I'm sure she talks about, inbound leads and messaging people as well. But there are different strategies that you can do, not only just in sharing your messaging, your content, your work, what you're trying to get across the platform. You could also, in your post at the bottom, one thing I've noticed that she does, she'll put a little bulletin, but a little pin or a little arrow that says, I am Holly. This is what I do. This is who I'm looking to, this is how I can serve you. And so for me, it might be, I'm Melanie, Melanie Lee. I want to inspire people to find healthy balance in the everyday hustle. And you could connect, say connect or, follow me to learn more. And so some of those things have actually led me to finding my life coach, connecting with other people on the platform, even locally and globally. And I've actually, I'm definitely someone who's like instantly turned off if I get a message that's leading to like, buy my service. I want to be able to really scope people's profiles, really understand what it is that they're doing, learn about how long they've been in the industry, get to know them on a personal level. And that attracts me to wanting to buy from someone.
Could you spell that last name?
Craw, CRAWSHAW, I believe. You got it.
And I think that's the one other reminder too, and maybe to end with this today is sometimes we work up all this stories in our head about before we hit post. And sometimes the post is not even really seen. So, give yourself grace, try new things, see what resonates with your community and your people. Even me, sometimes I feel like I'm hiding behind my events, but it kind of is a way too that people are like, what do you do? So I think that's the other part for you is sometimes having that and building that brand in different ways, try new things, but also know that you can always delete it if it doesn't resonate with you or if later you're very flustered by it. I mean, that's the part of this tool is use it, try it. Things are always changing. So that's one thing I just wanted to leave you guys all with today is, try something new and see what happens.
Thank you. Yeah. I think I have plenty of microphones.
Did you want us to go with the first question? The first person.
Yeah, whoever you want to do for the YOLO's gift card. If there are any more questions, These lovely ladies will be around afterwards and are willing to answer any questions. But first, as Julie Chen Mundis always says on Big Brother, I don't know if we have any Big Brother fans. I am obviously one. We are going to be giving away our YOLO's gift card, and I'm going to allow our lovely speakers to select a winner.
All right, we were going to choose the first question asked, and I believe it was back here. Yes.
Wonderful.
So congratulations.
And then if you could just connect with me afterwards, we will give you your gift card. Awesome. So let's be friends. If you are interested in becoming a speaker, volunteering, / becoming a board member, sponsoring events, or anything, scan this QR code. I'm going to move out of the way. That's going to lead you to our link tree that I mentioned earlier. So all of the things that's happening with SMBMad, it'll lead you to that. Our next event, which I am super excited for, but I'm extremely biased because Therese is one of my great college friends. We will be doing a case study about how she raised $27K on a Kickstarter in 30 days using social media. She is the owner of Tricky Foods, which I'm sure most of you have either heard about or have tasted. So be here on October 16th at 8 a.m. sharp or live stream on LinkedIn and Facebook. And next, I wish I had a drum roll. Drum roll, please. Our voting window is open for our Social Media Breakfast Madison Marketing Awards. That was a mouthful. So vote today. If you scan that link tree, there is a link to vote. I think I know a few of the individuals that have been nominated, and I am searching. I don't think he's still here. Oh, he is. I'm looking at him. Anyways, vote. Right, and save the date for our awards gala. We did change it to October 18th in order to allow for a holiday that is October 11th. And we still are looking for a location, but as soon as we have our location locked down, we will let you know on our fabulous social media pages, as I've plugged them quite a few times shamelessly. And that is all we have for you today.